All right. Elevation Nation Conversations. Let's get into it. God, body, shine. I'm here. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Drop a comment in the comment section. We're going to get right to it. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Got a story I was checking out on the good old internet. What they call it, the internet. We got a a white woman. I don't know about her last name. She might be Jewish, but a good old New York City assemblywoman, Lindy Rosenthal. She old welfare queen. That's what we gonna call her, welfare queen. Ain't that what they call the black women? You know, when they get assistance from the government, you know, when they really need it and things like that, they try to demean them and talk derogatory to them and call them welfare queens and all that when they get a little assistance and they need it. Well, we're gonna call her a welfare queen, and she's an assemblywoman, so she gets a nice salary. So hit that like, share, subscribe button. Elevation Nation Conversation. God, body, shine. I'm here. This channel is not a only discuss black people issues or talk about black people or be on here with the buffoonery and the coonery. We're equal opportunity accountability holders, so we know we hit them all. If you need some accountability, if you need to be brought to the front of the congregation that he talked about, we're gonna talk about you. So that's what it is. But I was reading a story online, and it was talking about this white assemblywoman in New York City. She makes a salary of at least a hundred some thousand a year. But she's in Upper Manhattan getting rental assistance subsidies in a program where they stabilize the rental market so you don't have to pay market rent. She's paying what she can afford, I guess. So she's getting a hundred and some thousand. I think it's like 127,000 a year salary, but yet she up in here paying like $1,500 a month for a Manhattan 5 bedroom apartment. Yeah, that part. Yeah, she makes 142,000 a year, and she gets another 12,500 for being a committee chair. So this white woman right here, she's a New York City assemblywoman. She's on a committee chair. So her total yearly salary is about 150, 160. She lives in Upper Manhattan in a 5 bedroom apartment, paying $1,500 a month for rent. That's less than what I pay. I pay more money for rent than what she does. And she's on a rental assistance program. It's like a subsidy program where they stop the property where you're living at from going above a certain level to keep it at market rate so you can afford to live there. So these are the same ones that would talk about white people or blacks or this and that. We don't want no more rental assistance programs. You know, we don't want to give out any more handouts. They don't need no help, but yet they getting help as well. That's why I say welfare has more white people on welfare than they do blacks. That program is helps more uh, whites than it does blacks. But let's get into the story real quick and just chop it up a little bit so we can show how the hypocrisy is. And when they want to talk and demean black communities, and they basically do the same damn thing, and they don't see nothing wrong in it. So, as I found that real funny. You all right? So it says, Upper West Side Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, who trumpets not being interested in building more market rate housing for New Yorkers, has been living in a palatial, rent stabilized apartment in the landmarked building for 40 years, paying only a fraction of the market rate. So this assemblywoman, she's on a committee chairs, and she says she don't want no more affordable market rate housing built in New York, or she don't want any more programs like that to help out the middle or the lower class people in New York. But yet she's been living on it for 40 years. Yeah, that part. So she's been living on that rental assistance program and that subsidized rent for 40 years. Wow. And it says, the Democratic chair of the Assembly Housing Committee. Hold on. She's the chair of the Housing Committee. And she's... You see what I tell you? Racism is institutionalized. So she has a position on the Housing Committee where she writes the bills and helps pass the laws and things like that. And she's voting against having more subsidized, stabilized rental assistance programs. But yet she's living on one. And she's making $160 a year. Yep. That's how they do. So it says, the Democratic chair of the Assembly Housing Committee pays just $1,573 a month to live in a 5-room pad on the 3rd floor of the St. James Court off Amsterdam Avenue. So she's living in a historically, that's one of those historical buildings. And she only paying $1,500 a month. The brick and stone structure was designed in the Renaissance Revival style. The upper facade peppered with limestone balconies and scrolled keystones. The residents of the St. James Court were expectedly well-to-do, noted a brief building history from the landmark. It says, Rosenthal pays $1,573 a month for her 5-room apartment in Manhattan. Gorgeous, elevated building with laundry and live-in super, gushed when she described about it. Though it boasts 5 rooms, Rosenthal has modestly called the apartment a 1-bedroom with another small room like a maid's room. A similar 5-room apartment in the building rents for $5,200 a month. So everybody else is paying $5,200 a month, but she's only paying $1,500 a month. And she's on the rental assistance program, has been doing it for almost 40 years. She makes $160,000 a year, and she's on the housing committee. Ain't that some shit? Matter of fact, let's check out this story right here where they're talking about building more affordable housing in the community, and I get back to the story.
Millions of hardworking New Yorkers. Affordable housing construction is simply not keeping up with demand.
Hopefully I could get into it. But right now I'm paying too much money.
Take, for example, these 4 affordable housing sites in East Harlem, all on city-owned land. Community Board 11 members started discussing them a decade ago. The city approved them 3 years ago in 2021, and today they are still years away from completion.
Wow, that is not for me. I might be dead by that time.
We wanted to find out exactly why it takes so long to get tenants moved in. Here's what we found.
And see, what they're talking about is they're talking about that they are building some more affordable housing, but it takes so long to build them that by the time they build them, the people on the waiting list probably dead and gone or have moved away, and it makes no sense. When you get on those when you get on those lists to get in those affordable housing, that list, sometimes you're on that list for 10, 12, 14, 15, 20 years just to get up in there. So meanwhile, this assemblywoman is talking about don't build more affordable housing. We don't want more programs like that. She's living on an affordable housing program for the past 40 years, making $160,000. But yet the regular New Yorkers, they got to get on the waiting list for 10, 15, 20 years. Ain't that how they do that shit? Ain't that how they do it? Let's get back to that story.
The existing affordable housing development timeline on city-owned land takes a minimum of 5 to 7 years and starts when the city gets community input and then requests developer proposals. After that, the city selects the winning proposal, which must then move through the city Uniform Land Use Review procedure. Once that's complete, the city council must approve the proposal and then agrees on a financing agreement with the developer. Only then does construction begin, which typically takes 1 to 2 years.
I think it's sad. I think the government is not really doing what it's supposed to do for low-income people.
Ahmed Tigani is Deputy Commissioner of the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development. He says the Adams administration wants to streamline that process with several time-saving initiatives.
The frustration that you feel, or the frustration that we feel here in government, we are all behind the idea of getting more units built. It's the reason why we're all committed to reforming, reducing, and making smart the process of building housing.
And among those time-saving initiatives is something called City of Yes. It involves not requiring affordable housing developments to have associated parking. It increases the number of units that can be built on a site. And the goal, the overall goal, according to Commissioner Tigani, is to reduce the development timeline by at least half. We're live in...
So that quick little news story right there was basically breaking down the process of why it takes so long for affordable housing to get built when you're going through all this government red tape and bureaucracy and bullshit and nonsense. It takes them years to get the final location. Then they want to send out a survey to the community to see if they want it. Then they got to get their budget. Then they got to send out the budget to different builders. Then the builders got to send back proposals, and then they got to approve the proposal. And then they got to start building. That's about a 2-year process just to do that. And then the builder is about maybe another 2-3 years. But yet this assemblywoman, she's already been living in affordable housing for the past 4 years. But back to the story we were saying, it says rent stabilization in the Big Apple disproportionately helps wealthy older white people who live in Manhattan, such as Rosenthal. Let me read that again. It says the rent stabilization in the Big Apple disproportionately helps wealthy older white people who live in Manhattan. Rosenthal, the assemblywoman, she's been living on rent assistance since 1985 when rent was just $580. Man, I tell you, boy, how some of these white races, they tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and we need to work harder and we lazy and we spend our money wrong and all of that. But yet she's a assemblywoman and she getting $160 a year, but she's on a rental assistance program. So she's stacking her bread. She investing her money. She got her money working and earning for her. Meanwhile, the rest of the middle to lower class community can't even afford to live in New York. Let me see. It says the landmark St. James Court, where Assemblywoman Rosenthal pays well below market rate for her 5-room apartment. Helene Seidman Rosenthal's base salary as a member of the Assembly is $142,000. She pockets an additional $12,500 for being a committee chair. So, like I said, she's making about $160,000. And she also voted for a jumbo pay increase for herself and her Albany colleagues in 2022. So she's voting to get more pay increases. That's why the black community needs to start getting into positions of power with these assembly positions, Congress, Senate, local committees. We need to get in positions where we make the laws and write the laws and pass the laws and things like that, so we can start being in on the ground floor and know what's going on, so we can be in the mix. Right now, we're not in the mix. We running around more concerned about what fucking album Beyonce is making. She making a country album or some shit like that, or who doing the Super Bowl. That's the dumb shit that we sit around worried about. The rest of the article says, I'm not worried about non-affordable housing, actually, she told a city hall delegation during a hearing in December. People who have means can buy, rent anything they need in this city. Damn. It says, critics say it's unfair for a state lawmaker to be cashing in on such a sweet deal. The Adams administration is looking for ways to speed up conversations of unused office space and residential housing. So she getting hers. She says, we ain't worried about it. We ain't worried about building more affordable housing. If y'all want to rent here, y'all can go find some place and you can find somewhere that's affordable and do what you got to do, but I got mine. So she living in this landmark right here, historical building, beautiful building on the 3rd floor with balconies, all that, 5 bedrooms, paying $1,500 a month. So don't let these white folks make y'all think that they working harder or they saving their money any more than you are, or they're being more responsible with how they spend their money. A lot of times these white folks know the laws and they know the programs and they're accessing the programs and they doing what they need to do to get some of that money and save some of that money. That's what's happening. That's what's going on right there. So this woman, she's an assembly woman. She in a position of power. She getting hers, and she ain't worried about none of y'all. And she's saying, "Look, yep, I'm finna keep getting this $1,500 a month rent. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about, and you get yours." Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Drop a comment in the comment section. God, Body, Shine. We almost at that thousand subscriber mark. Elevation Nation Tribe. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, supporting me. Once we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna talk about me and what I've been through, what I got going on, what I've done in my life, from music to real estate to trucking to writing books, kids books, all that. So we're gonna delve into my story a little bit when we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. But hit that like, share, subscribe button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this assembly woman getting all that cake and not paying no rent. Y'all, hold on one second. Hold on. We back. We back. We back. But yeah, that's one thing that I was saying, that as the black community, we need to start getting more involved in the political process, politics, local politics, nationwide politics, because this is where the programs are at. This is where the money is at. You got to put yourself in the rooms where the laws are being made, the bills are being passed, with the people that's moving and shaking and making money, so we can know and be in the know and know what's going on. But yeah, we got these white folks up there in positions of powers in the assembly, making hella salaries, using the same programs to get access to resources, the same programs that they're voting against, that they don't want you to get access to. How you like that? Right. So shit. Elevation Nation Conversation, we're about learning from situations so we can add to ourselves, so we can grow and develop and continue elevating in our life. I can take from this one. You gotta get in the mix. You gotta be out there. You gotta get in the mix and know what you know what's going on in your community, what's in your area, what's in your city, what resources out there, what things you can get involved with, or processes you can get involved with and take advantage of, just like the white folks are doing. The economy is horrible out here right now. It's getting worse, and we got to be on top of the game. We got to be on top of the ball. But hit that like, share, subscribe button. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Check y'all on the next one. We out. Peace.